All right, the next way you can do the drums, like I said before, is using a loop. And you can get this off of vinyl. You can sample it from, your records. Get you a nice little drum break, sample it. You can download it from, the internet or anything or something like that. Then also you have like those drum loops that come in kits, like that sites might have or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I got this drum loop from P5 Audio. I want to shout them out too. They good peoples over there. Dude David, man, holla at him. They got some good sounds out over there. They sound real professional. Their customer service is good. So if you ever need some sounds, man, go holla at them. They got drum breaks, they got sample loops, they got all of that type of stuff, man. So let me load up something real quick. All right, I'm gonna go with that one right there. I'm gonna load that on B. So let's go ahead and drag that over. All right, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this up underneath the sample because it's a lot of stuff going on. So for me to do this, I would have to chop it up and probably use like bits and pieces as I chop it up. But for the first way we're gonna chop it, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be like if any of y'all familiar with Reason or familiar with Live, like when they use that Dr. Rex loop and stuff like that, what they do is add a whole lot of slices in the loop, and that way every hit is chopped, so you can turn the volume, turn the tempo up or down, and it will constantly play the same way, kind of like what we did in the last video with the sample, but it's just going to be a little bit more detailed with this drum break. All right, so let's get into that. All right, so I went on and pulled the drum break over. Real quick, all the drum sounds that I'm using today, I'm gonna go ahead and upload them. It's gonna be a link below, so you can download those also and work along like how we've been doing with the sample. I want to shout out everybody who went and downloaded the sample and has been using it and following along with what we're doing right here. So it's been way more people than I expected. So I want to shout y'all out. Thanks again for participating. All right, so we got the sample loaded up on pad 1. Let's listen to it. Alright, so that's it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into sampling. Alright, you look over here, you got the waveform again. Alright, now from there we're going to start slicing it up. But what we want to use first, let's go ahead and edit it. Like how we did before, we're going to go to audio. Once we go to audio, you can have your little options right here. We want to normalize this sample just to bring the waveform up to its highest peak. See, it raised up just a little bit. Alright, so now what we're going to do is come out of audio. We're going to go into slice mode. And now in slice mode, what we're going to do is come down here to split, change it to detect. So now it's on detect. And what that's going to do is this knob right here is for your sensitivity, and with the sensitivity, that adds slice points or markers to the actual hits in the sample. So as you turn it up, it adds more slices, and sometimes when you turn it up too much, it'll add like slices where they don't necessarily need to go. So you don't want to turn it up that much, but you want to get as many slices on those hit points as you possibly can. So let's turn it up. Alright, turn it up to about right there. That's pretty good. It's at 85%. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through and kind of fine tune those slices because we want to get it on every hit. That's the only way that we'll be able to adjust the tempo. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that taken care of. All right, the first one. Let's go ahead and turn that sensitivity up just a little bit more. Alright, so now we got all our slices that machine thought was there. So now we're gonna adjust them. Alright, how you do that? You go to edit. Alright, now the first slice is starting at the beginning of the loop. So now it's not going all the way through. So we want to adjust the endpoint. And before we do that, this waveform right here is pretty small, so you can use this knob right here. This zooms in. So you can zoom in as far as you want to the line is real fine, or you can zoom out to you can see just enough of what you're doing. So we're gonna go ahead and go to about right there. That's good enough for me to see exactly what's going on. So alright, see right here, this hit goes all the way to about right there. So what we want to do is adjust the endpoint to that marker goes about right there. That way you'll get that whole hit in there. So maybe about right there. So that's good. Now the next one. Alright, let's adjust the endpoint a little bit because it look like it feel like it's overlapping. There you go. And that one is kind of overlapping a little bit, so there you go. And we just going through and adjusting all these points. So this one right here, we want to adjust the endpoint and bring it to about right there. And what this doing is just stopping it from clipping at the end, so you won't hear those cracks and pops at the end of your sample. Alright, let's adjust that one a little bit. Alright, once you get to this point where you're at the end of your pad, you want to look over here and click this arrow right here, which is going to take you to the next screen. Alright, so then you want to go back down to the bottom, and that's going to put you at that next pad after that one. So what you're doing is like kind of going up an octave. So let's go ahead and adjust this one. Alright, so in a situation like this, let's see. Let's say right here, if we wanted to put another slice right there, so instead of it just being a kick and a hi-hat, we can go ahead and hit add, and that's gonna put another slice right there. Then you can just adjust it how you want to. All right. Again, we at the end, the last pass, so click over, go all the way down to the bottom. Alright, so again, we gotta add another slice right there, because you hear that double hit. So add. adjust that last part. So let's go ahead and add another one because we want to put another marker in between there. So let's add. All right. Then we're going to adjust the beginning so we can get that hit in there. And then the end point is kind of overlapping, so let's go ahead and bring that up some. Alright, so that's everything chopped up. And real quick, if you wanted to, just so you can, for tutorial purpose, so you can see. Say for instance, if we wanted to remove one, let's say they had all these chops right here, we wanted to take this one out. Alright, we want to remove this one right here. You don't want to have the first hit. You want to go to that next pad. That way when you remove it, you're removing the one that's in the middle. So let's go ahead and hit remove. And there you go, you got both of them again. I was doing it before. I would remove this one and then it was just screwing everything up. So just remember that. That's just a little tip to save you some time. So let's go ahead and add that back. Alright, and pretty much the loop is chopped up. So the next step that I would do is now you would come out of here. And now you want to hit apply, and that's going to apply it to this D group that you're in. So once I click apply, now everything is chopped up. So either you can play it, you know, go through and find your chops. And play it how you want to play it, or you can use the loop how it is right now. Because remember when I told you before with the sample, when we hit apply to it, automatically by default puts it into your sequence. So now let me mute everything else. And let's go ahead and press play, and then you're going to see that it's going to be playing with all the chops in it. Alright, now what's so cool about this, because like I said, we did it before with the sample, but we didn't go in and chop every little hit up and everything like that. So now when we play it, we can adjust it down and up, and again it's going to fit the sample perfectly, or the tempo perfectly, because everything is chopped. So check it out. I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna go down with the tempo. Alright, so that gives you a rough idea of the things that you can do with that. Now the other thing, straighten this out just a little bit. The other thing, what I like to do with, just say for instance, if this was a break or something that you had chopped up, a lot of times the sound is not high quality. So now you want to take your own sample drums and play them over top of the loop. So just say for instance, I got. Let me unmute this. These are the ones that I got loaded up from the other sample. Now say for instance, when I start playing the drum loop, I'm gonna go ahead and add my samples over top of that, and that just give it that extra punch to it. Alright, so now we're gonna lay down the hi-hat first. But first, before we do that, we got to go ahead and create another pattern. So hold the pattern button, click pattern 2, change the bars to 4. Okay, now that's done. Now we can go ahead and record this next pattern with the drum loop. Okay, so check it out. Remember, shift, record. Alright, so that's basically it, man. I can let you hear the sample or the drum loop without me playing over it, and then hear it with me playing over it, and then you'll be able to tell the difference. And this, I believe that this sample right here won't, or this drum loop won't work with the actual sample that we're using, because it's just so busy and the sample is busy already. And what I normally like to do is, if I'm gonna start off with a drum loop and I have the sample, I like to chop my sample up and then play around with it to lay it out the way that will make different patterns over top of the drum loop. I don't like to necessarily throw a drum loop up underneath the sample, if that's making any sense. I hope it is. But let's go ahead and play it without our own drums, and then we're gonna play it with us layering the drums over top of it. So check it out. Let's mute the drums. Now we're gonna go ahead and play. This is just a loop. Now we're gonna add the sample. Alright, so that's just another idea. Like I said, the other way you can do it is chop the loop up, the drum loop, and then you know, maybe I'll show y'all that in another video if I start focusing on drums. Alright, and now what you could do is, after you got that drum loop, you know, the way that you want it with your layering and everything, then I'll go back and use the chops. And you know, just for an example, let's go ahead and unmute this. Alright, and then let's just play around with it, just to give you an idea of how you know what you can do. And again, we ain't really making no hot beat or nothing like that. It's just something to give you ideas and get you to experiment for things on your own. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and play it and see what we come up with. All right, so that's basically it. We got the drums, we got the sample. On the next one, I'll show y'all how to do the bass line. That way we can I'll go in and filter out the highs and the mids to give you a bass line where you, if you don't know how to play, it'll be real simple for you to just add bass to it without worrying about that. So I hope this tutorial was beneficial to you guys. You have any questions, you already know you can hit me up, ag.beats.com. Episode 4. We're going to filter out the highs and get the bass going on. All right. Peace. Holla at y'all.